What up, everybody? Welcome into the Week 16 noon live stream. This is, all right, here's the deal. Hi, that's my daughter, Sophie. That's Derrick Henry here visiting us today, right there. He has a Patrick Mahomes wig. I was kind of hoping that he'd put it on. Not today? Not today. Okay. Anyway, welcome. It's Week 16. We are here to help you get to your championships. They're gone now. I don't know what they're doing. You're not gone. They're coming back. Okay, here's the deal, guys. It's Week 16. Okay, we've got an hour. I'm usually on the Instagram Live, so it's a little different for me. Yates and I had to switch. He had some prior obligations. Don't worry. I'm here to get you through. I'm going to run through the latest injury news and all of that. And then when I am done with that, I will talk to you about... sorry, hold on one second. I got to switch my mic. My mic. Is you ready for another one? I'm checking my producer. You'll tell me if my mic is good now, producer. Okay, anyway, here's the latest injury news. Okay, I'm going to run through it very quickly. Then I'm going to go through a couple of the weird situations like the Cleveland wide receiver and what I'm going to do with all of that. And then we're going to get to your start questions. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about some of the actives. Daniel Jones is active. He is not. Oh, you're coming? All right. Daniel Jones is active. He is not somebody who I'm looking to start. Hold on. Visit from Patrick Mahomes. You got the 15? The 15 right there. There it is. Patrick Mahomes coming on our live stream. Despite the fact he's got a big game. Oh, you're back? All right, Derrick Henry's back. Daniel Jones. I know. Don't laugh at your own jokes. That's rule number one of comedy, okay? I try to teach them. They don't know. Okay, look. Daniel Jones is active, okay? That really should not mean all that much to you right now coming in because you should not be starting many Giants against Baltimore, even though they are dealing with some injuries. You're not starting Daniel Jones. It doesn't affect the Baltimore defense, really. Just they're a top option. Avoid all Giants. That's where we go. Tyreek Hill is active. Tyreek Hill, don't worry about it. I'm not downgrading him whatsoever because of the hamstring. He's going to be fine, okay? It's a maintenance thing. You're starting Tyreek Hill as the top 2 wide receiver. Allen Robinson is active. Also not downgrading him. Great matchup against the Jaguars. No worries. Top 10 wide receiver. Get him in there. And Hollywood Brown is active. Again, more of a boom-bust sort of borderline... Wide receiver 3, I'm at 34th, okay? So he is somebody you can get away with starting. Inactives as sort of expected for this game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we knew was not going to play. James Robinson, just in case you were missing. Ozigbo, sorry. Ozigbo and Ogunbowale, they're more like borderline flex plays at this point. This is a big one. Championship week, all right?
Okay.
You're going to have to deal with this, guys, by the way. I'm very sorry. If you want to throw me out, that you want to do something nice for me, give me a like, give me a subscribe. That helps me. That makes him know that it's okay that I do this all the time. Anyway, so Ozigbo, Ogunbowale, not somebody you're looking to start. You might be able to get away with them as a flex, but I'm trying to avoid them if I can. Mark Ingram is a healthy scratch. You weren't relying on him. You were relying on J.K. Dobbins as a borderline RB1 and Gus Edwards as a fine flex play. Duke Johnson's out. So is C.J. Prosise, by the way. That makes David Johnson an even more intriguing start, who's basically an RB1 this week. I'm not sure he's going to get quite the 11 targets or the 11 receptions that he saw last week, but against the Bengals, that's certainly what you're doing. You know Julio Jones is out. Tags and I have debated Russell Gage all week. I like him a little more than Tags does. I have him as a sort of low-end wide receiver 3. I realize that the KC defense is very difficult, but again, I do think that they're a little overrated. God, this is the worst. This is my nightmare. I do think they're a little overrated given just who they've played. Okay, it hasn't been a murderer's row of wide receivers. I think Matt Ryan's going to throw a ton. I also think they're going to cover. Yes, the Falcons, I think, are going to cover the 10.5-point spread, so you're good there. Golden Tate is out. Tyler Boyd is out, as you know that. And Jarvis Landry is out, as are all starting Cleveland wide receivers. So let's just get to how I'm handling all of this, okay? You guys should know this by now, I'm sure, but the Cleveland wide receivers, basically every single starting Cleveland wide receiver is out because they are close contact with somebody who has tested positive for COVID-19, which means that the only wide receiver that you can even think about starting on Cleveland... Can you close the door because of the barking? Thank you. Sorry. The only Cleveland wide receiver that you could even think about starting is Marvin Hall, but he is 59th in my wide receiver rankings, okay?
Wait, but he's 59th.
You got... Hold on, guys. We got to stop. So you got to take all your cheetahs out. Okay. Like, this is not a playtime. Sorry, guys.
59.
Sorry, I know. Marvin Hall is 59th. Okay? Boo. That's just what he is. You've got to stop saying boo. And you got to stop doing this. No, you got to stop. Sorry. Marvin Hall is 59th. He's not somebody who you're looking to start in this matchup. It's just not. Okay? I get it. It's like, wow, the one quote-unquote legitimate wide receiver. He's had very little practice time with the team. It's just not something you're going. 59th for me. Keenan Allen is not expected to play, but he wasn't expected to play last time. He did play. He didn't have a good game. I am basically, Will, you got to close that because of Bentley. Sorry. We've got dog barking. We've got mom fed up. We've got Titan son. We've got cheetahs. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. All right. So Keenan Allen, not expected to play. It's a late game, so you've got to have a sub ready. I've moved Mike Williams up to 38th in my wide receiver rankings. He's somebody who, I'm sorry, 33rd, not 30th. God, 33rd. So Mike Williams falls one spot below Kiki QT and 2 spots below Russell Gage, 1 spot ahead of Hollywood Brown, 2 spots ahead of T.Y. Hilton. As for Tyron Johnson, he's 43rd for me, 1 spot below Chad Hansen, 1 spot ahead of Sterling Shepard. So he's right in that range where you can get away with him as a potential flex. Guyton is a little more worrisome. We don't exactly know what we're going to see. I have him 55th. I'm trying to avoid him if I absolutely can. Keenan Allen, I probably wouldn't start even if he's active late. Active, it's expected to be a split at this point. If I have to choose one between Zeke and Tony Pollard, I am choosing Zeke, but barely. I have Zeke 26th. I have Tony Pollard 28th. So it is not something where I'm trying to get away with it with starting either one of those guys if I can help it. Again, they can be started. Not really going near either one if I can avoid it. It's not a great matchup. I think Pollard has the higher upside, but I am starting Zeke first if I have to choose one of them. Terry McLaurin, as we know, is out. The only wide receiver who I'm starting on, and that is borderline, on Washington is Sims, and he is 45th at this point for me in my wide receiver rankings. Again, Dwayne Haskins is also starting for Alex Smith, which, doesn't make starting Cam Sims all that exciting anyway, so it doesn't matter. Antonio Gibson is playing. This is something where, again, I'm starting Gibson if I have him probably, but it doesn't exactly inspire confidence. He's 24th for me, okay? Not something, it's a good matchup, so you can go, but I don't know what his workload's going to be. Sometimes plenty of work, plenty of production out there. Sometimes it's not. J.D. McKissick falls in 1 spot for me behind Antonio Gibson at 25, okay? The big thing for him is the fact that Terry McLaurin is out. Those targets have to go somewhere, and even with Gibson in, I think McKissick is going to get plenty of work. So he's 25th. You can get away with both guys. All right, so that is it. That's what we've got right now. So now let's get to some of your questions. Again, keep going. If you like, I see we've already got 128 likes. My kids really get excited at the likes. And subscribe if you want. If we add more than 15 subscribers on this live stream, I'm going to double the amount of videos that Tags has to do next year. I am Tags' boss. I hope you guys know that, okay? Technically. I'm the editor-in-chief of the company. I can tell him to do what I want. Add on some likes, add on some subscribers. We will make Tags do more. All right, let's get started. All right. From Thomas. Hey, Dan, Tag says hello. You're not Tags, but I appreciate it. Needs help. Need to sit one half PPR. Hunt, Zeke, Hollywood Brown. Thank you. Look, it's close between Hollywood Brown and Zeke. I'd probably bench Hollywood Brown. Okay, assuming it's not a PPR league, that's where I'd be leaning. Again, there's just too much up and down with Hollywood Brown. At least Zeke, is going to get some work, okay? He's got the higher floor because that there are going to be guaranteed carries. Even if he is splitting work with Pollard, there's going to be enough there. Again, I don't expect the Eagles to run with this game. It's a close spread. The game should be close. There should be a lot of running. From Tom, Taylor or Logan Thomas in PPR and tight end 1.5 premium. That's pretty close given that the bonus points for Logan Thomas, but I'm still going to go with Taylor there. I do realize that, of course, the Pittsburgh defense has been tough the whole year, but the run defense just isn't quite as scary anymore. After the Devin Bush injury, frankly, they really haven't been a defense that you absolutely want to avoid. It is a little worrisome given the offensive line issues that's going on in Indianapolis, but for me, I'm still going with Taylor, even with the premium. From Bruce Dearson, would you rather start Chad Henson or Gabriel Davis? I'm sorry, by the way, guys. My eyesight, as you can tell, is not that great. Also, my producer, who's the best person in the world, Chris, usually, unfortunately, keeps track of the questions. Doing it myself. My bad. I'll get there. I'm starting Chad Hansen, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm starting Chad Hansen. Again, number one, we don't know whether or not John Brown's going to start. If he does, Gabriel Davis is ranking surely goes down. But either way, I'd rather start Henderson, who's kind of turned into a fairly reliable option at this point. I realize that he didn't get the targets last week. I realize his stock's a little higher with Brandon Cooks out. But still, at this point, he is somebody who I'm willing to roll with over somebody like Gabriel Davis. Noah Fant from A-Train Fitness. Noah Fant or Hooper in PPR. Thanks so much. You're welcome. It's really close, especially with basically every pass catcher out in Cleveland. I'm still going Fant. I think Fant has kind of put himself in that must-start territory at this point, given his connection with Drew Lock. They're going to need points. You can pass on the Chargers. Hooper's a good start this week. Oddly enough, our rankings lock when we put in our rankings for the Friday game, for the Saturday game. So I had Mckissick 10th, Rob Gronkowski 11th, Jared Cook 12th. So Hooper is 13th for me. It's annoying because I do think that Hooper is probably going to finish. If I was ranking them all now, I'd have Hooper a little higher. But I have Fant 8th. So I think Fant is a guy who you can get away with. From David, or Davdem, 89, Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts standard. So let's just get this all the way because I know there are a lot of questions of who do I start? Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. All those guys are projected incredibly similarly, okay? That's just the fact. That's not a cop-out. That's what it is. We do projections. Some of us do projections. I do. They come out to fantasy points. The difference between my number 4 quarterback, who is Watson, and my number 7 quarterback, Josh Allen, is 0.9 fantasy points in 4-point per passing touchdown leagues. That's it. I rank him Watson, Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. You wanted to start Josh Allen over Deshaun Watson, a 3-spot difference in my rankings. I've got no issue with it. That is right there. But for me, I'm starting Deshaun Watson, then I'm starting Jalen Hurts, then I'm starting Lamar Jackson, and then I am starting Josh Allen. Again, they all offer an incredibly high floor. They all offer a high ceiling. I think it's going to be a huge game, really, for all of them. So I have no worries. But I would start Watson first, then I would start Hurts over Lamar Jackson. PPR flex from Max B, Gio, T.Y. Hilton, or Gage. I'm going to go Gio there. I'm not expecting a massive game like we saw in this last one, but, again, the Texans are such an easy run defense. He's going to factor into the passing game. Hopefully he has built himself beyond the point where, God forbid, he fumbles on the first carry like he did a couple of weeks ago. I don't think he's going to get benched at this point. So I would start Gio in that place. I just think his volume is a little safer. If you guys are liking this, again, it's our last Start Sit live stream. I'm going to be going through questions for the next hour. I've put my rankings, locked them in. I'm usually tweaking them right until. Put them aside, just here, let's go. More questions. Keep them coming. I will get to as many as possible. Like the live stream if you can so my producer doesn't make fun of me. Subscribe so my producer also doesn't make fun of me that I don't get enough subscriptions when I'm here by myself. Again, I will make tags do more work. The more likes we get, the more subscriptions we get. I have full authority over that. Okay, next year we want tags on like every live stream. Let's go. Let's get. He is the man. Omed Sharifi, would you start? I assume it's Mike Davis or Giovanni Bernard. This is a pretty close question. I have Gio projected a little bit higher, so I would go with Gio there. Again, I think Gio at this point, given what we saw last week, is something where he's going to just have a pretty high floor at this point. Davis is great, but, Washington has a very, very solid defense. I will go with the matchup. I will go with even a little more volume, which I project right now for Gio over Mike Davis. At quarterback, we have, I just missed it. From Josh Serrano. Really appreciate the hard work. Herbert or Trubisky? Look, I like Mitchell Trubisky a lot. I have him as a top 12 quarterback this week, but I'm still going with Herbert. The Keenan Allen thing doesn't matter to me. We saw last time they were out there, you had no Keenan Allen, you had no Mike Williams, doesn't matter. So I will go with Herbert over Mitchell Trubisky. That said, I do have Mitchell Trubisky as a top 12 quarterback, and that's where we are in week 12 of the NFL season. From Sean Lagunda, T. Higgins, CD Lamb, or Gallman, 2 flex spots, full PPR. I'm going to go with both receivers in PPR. It sucks about Wayne Gallman, okay? Wayne Gallman has had a really, really, really good season, okay? I really like him. Against Baltimore, Calais Campbell's playing. I just don't feel it, particularly in PPR. With no Boyd, Higgins stock goes up a little bit. CeeDee Lamb is often involved enough to make it worthwhile in PPR, so I'm benching Gallman in that scenario. From Brett Bashinger, full PPR, would you start Mike Williams or T.Y. Hilton? This is another one that is fairly close, But after all the news, after updating my projections earlier this morning, I do have Mike Williams ahead of T.Y. Hilton by 2 spots. Williams is 33rd. T.Y. Hilton is 35th. You can get away with either one as a wide receiver 3. But again, Mike Williams, just a full go now. Okay, we're not worried about the back injury other than it's a back injury. As tags will tell you, back injuries are notoriously tricky. I'm still going with him. Okay, his role is guaranteed. Feel a little bit better about him than I do Hilton against the Steelers, who admittedly have been, susceptible to big performances from wide receivers. I do think you see sort of a strong effort here by the Steelers. Okay, this is Mike Tomlin's rah-rah spot. That's what we do. So I'm not jonesing to start any of the Colts if I can get away with it. Mooney or Watkins from Brian Blackman. It's not it's not exactly something where you really want to be going after, but I am starting Mooney. Again, I do have Trubisky ranked fairly high. I think it's going to be a lot of Allen Robinson. There'll be a lot of dump-offs, but I do think Mooney in this matchup against Jacksonville, again, they can get to the playoffs now. So I think you're going to see a strong effort here from the Bears. From Daniel Bender, J.K. Dobbins or David Johnson need a safe floor. Well, the good news is you've got a safe floor from either one of these guys sans injury. That's the bottom line. They're both right there. I do have David Johnson 2 spots ahead of J.K. Dobbins. Now, I had that even before we saw no C.J. Prosise and, once we knew Duke Johnson was going to miss this game. Look, it's not going to be what we saw last week, but at this point against Cincinnati, defense isn't the worst we saw last week against Steelers, but you're going to see a ton of him in this game. I think he offers the higher floor than Dobbins, so I'm going with him. All right, sorry. From Brandon Warwick, sit 1, Woods, Taylor, or Deontay Johnson. Yikes. Okay, you have to sit 1. I'm going to assume that it's half PPR. It's not Woods. I think Woods is a guy you have to play in this matchup. I'm going to sit Deontay Johnson. I don't love it. I don't feel great about it. They're all excellent plays. They're all top, borderline 30 plays overall in flex, but I am benching Deontay Johnson in that one. That really sucks. From Jerry Powers, Pollard or Gibson in half PPR. I am going to go with Gibson in that scenario. Again, they want to give Zeke work. It's not a huge thing. Again, I have Gibson 24th and I have Pollard 28th. Not a huge difference necessarily between them, but I am going to go with Gibson. If he's healthy enough to play, it's a good matchup. I'm going to go with him over a guy who's almost definitely going to be splitting the workload there. From We'll Do It Live 18, Hilton Gage QT ceiling play in half PPR. I don't really feel like any of them has a particularly higher ceiling than any of the rest. Okay, I think they all have a strong ceiling. I think they're all in a good spot this week necessarily. They're all wide receiver 3s. I'm going to go with Gage. Basically, again, I know Tags has expressed strong concerns about the Kansas City pass defense. I completely agree. It's a strong pass defense, but they're not a lockdown defense, in my opinion. Matt Ryan is going to throw. They can't run the ball even against Kansas City. So I think there's going to be plenty of volume. We saw last week. There's enough there for Gage to have a big day, especially if KC does its best to take away Calvin Ridley, as I expect. So I would go with Gage slightly. If you haven't liked yet, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please give us a subscribe. This is our last Start Sit live stream of the football season. If you appreciated what we've done, really, we appreciate you. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. From Alexander Fanan, PPR Flex, Gage or Mooney or Hansen. That is where I'm going with Gage. Again, not like crazy with Gage, but he's 31st for me. He's right in that wide receiver 3 territory. I have no problems with starting him. From Harelsky, Hines, Connor, or Ito Smith in 1-point PPR. Thanks for a great season, Dan. Thank you guys for a great season. I'm going to go with Hines in that scenario. Again, this isn't something where I love Hines this week. In PPR, though, especially, I'm going to go with him. Connor, there's buzz that we may see more Benny Snell. I don't know. It's just something where it's very difficult for me to trust James Conner at this point. So I'm not going with Connor for sure, even though, he's there. But in PPR, I'm going to go with Hines. From CT Numbers, Hurts or Herbert, Fant or Hooper, full PPR. I'm going with Hurts here. I have Hurts 5th. It's a big conglomeration there with a couple of those guys, but Herbert falls right below that. So I'm going to go with Hurts, just give him the floor. And I'll go with Fant over Hooper, as I mentioned earlier. From Daniel Hong. Hey, Dan, Browns defense versus Jets or Bears defense versus Jags? Thank you for asking a DST question. I get that people are a little scared over the Browns defense at this point, but I do have them 2, and I have the Bears 3. They're both fantastic options this week, without question. I'm not worried just because, A, what we saw last week from the Jets, that was much more about the Rams, and B, the fact that the Browns have absolutely nobody to throw the ball to. They'll control the game on the ground. And the Jets, I'm going to go with the Browns. But it's very close. So if you go with the Bears, I've got no issue with it whatsoever. From John Sisto, Gibson, Hunt, or Davis in standard. So they're all going to be within 4 spots. So bear that in mind. But Hunt is the higher here, and it would not have been had the receivers been healthy. But given where the receivers are, that there are no receivers. Literally Marvin Hall, and that's it. And when Marvin Hall is your savior, you got problems. So I think there's just going to be tons and tons and tons of running in this game. There's going to be dump-offs to Hunt. There's going to be dump-offs to Chubb. The Jets are decent against the run, of course, but again, in this matchup, I don't think it matters. I will take the volume with Hunt. From Carter Seward, T. Higgins or Jalen Reagor in a cash lineup. Again, Higgins is the guy who I'm going with here. Without Boyd, I think you're going to see plenty of volume here for Higgins in a matchup that can easily be exploited. Brandon Allen is going to throw more than Ryan Finley would have, and Allen is starting, so I think Higgins is the guy you can get away with. Half flex. From Tyler Glasgow, Pollard or Lazard? I'm going to go with Pollard there. Again, Lazard is, I thought had he not been injured that Lazard would have entered reliable wide receiver 3 territory. I'm not kidding. But since he's come back, he just, not only is he not necessarily getting the volume of the work, but he's also not playing all that well. You saw the pass that he dropped last week that, right on the sidelines that you could see Rodgers roll his eyes a little bit that he was annoyed. Lazard just hasn't been quite the same player. I'll take the guaranteed volume with Tony Pollard. From Anthony Messina, Mitch Baker or Matty Ice? It's going to be Mitch. Gross. It would have been Baker, but no wide receivers. I just can't. I dropped him way down. He's like 25th for me at this point. I just can't. I can't trust the guy with no wide receivers. Kudos to him. He's playing exceptionally well. But legitimately, it's like guys off the street at this point. And will they win? Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to win. But I'm not starting him for fantasy. Mitch is playing well. As much as Tags probably doesn't want to admit it. He's playing really well right now. I think they're going to be able to do whatever they want against the Jaguars. I will go with Mitch. From Jeffrey Wright, hello and thank you. Brandon Cooks, Tyler Lockett, Corey Davis, or Russell Gage, full PPR, pick 2. The guarantee for me is Corey Davis. I know that sounds weird, but Corey Davis at this point, he's had 2 bad games in the last 10 weeks or something like that. I know the secondary, at least one part of the secondary, Jair Alexander, and we don't exactly know how it's going to line up. Alexander usually stays on his side of the field, so we'll see what the Titans do. But I don't necessarily think that Corey Davis is going to be shut down in this game, regardless of what happens. So Corey Davis is the must. After that, I have Lockett and Cooks back-to-back in my lineup. I don't know what to do with Tyler Lockett at this point. It pains me to go there. I do have Lockett 1 spot ahead, so I would go with him. But I've got no problem if you want to go with Cooks in that scenario. For the second one, Gage is the last guy, so Gage is not in their consideration for me. But for me, I do have Lockett 1 spot ahead of Cooks. From DJC551 in PPR, Hooper or Tunyon? I'm still going Tunyon. So this is something where I think everybody has moved Austin Hooper to like 6th or 7th in their rankings. I'm not there yet. I moved Hooper up, but again, he's still 13th for me. And again, to be fair, 10th, 11th, 12th, they're all locked in already. Otherwise, he might be a little higher. But Tunyon at this point is 7th. He's just kind of locked in there. From DX Movie, Gage or Lockett standard, I'm going with Lockett in that one. Again, I'm not totally off Lockett yet, and I like Gage, but Gage is still a mid to low-end wide receiver 3. Lockett more like a high-end wide receiver 3. From Dave Kaufman, hey Dan, full PPR, would you rather start Hanson, Mooney, or Myers? It's not Myers because, again, I think there's just no way. I know they had a big game in this last one, but there's just no way to rely on Myers, specifically not against Tre'Davious White. After that, Hanson and Mooney are pretty close, but I will go with Hanson. I think, look, it's 3 weeks in a row right now where Hanson really has not let you down at all. So I'm going to go with him in that scenario. Hopefully we see the targets come back up, but either way, I think there's going to be scoring in that game. And I do think that, I don't know if you guys can hear my crazy dog out there. Sorry. I do think with that you're going to want to go with him. From Steve Ramirez, PPR, Pollard or Carson? I'm going to go with Carson there. We're not in the same territory yet. I realize it's a bad matchup, but Pollard splitting time with Zeke is not in the same category as Carson. Another Carson question from Chris Johnson. I hope you're the running back, Chris Johnson, okay? Because legitimately, man, fond memories of early fantasy playing for me. Pollard or Robbie Anderson, full point PPR. I'm going Robbie Anderson, especially in full, but even in half, I'll go with Robbie Anderson. Again, Pollard, as much as the explosion happened, he scored the early touchdown last week against San Francisco, but until that 40-yard run, which admittedly was a great run, he didn't look that amazing. So it's not something where he's locked in specifically, especially with Zeke there. So I am going to go with Robbie Anderson. Again, not a great matchup, but I'll still go with him there. From TLD 100, would you rather go for Hunt or Carson in half? Again, it's pretty close. I have moved Hunt up, but I am still going with Carson. Not the greatest matchup, of course, against the Rams, but I think at this point you're going to see volume. I think they've kind of tried to baby Carson a little bit. They want the win. They want the division. So I'm going to go with Carson there narrowly over Hunt. From Chavo824, hi Dan, please J.K. Dobbins or David Johnson in standard format. I'm going to slightly go with David Johnson. It's very close, even in standard. It's a little closer in standard, but I am going to go with David Johnson by a spot over J.K. Dobbins in standard. Again, I think without Duke, you're going to see guaranteed volume in the passing game, which you should have been seeing the whole season anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I do think that with that, you're going to see enough of volume, whether it's on the ground, whether it's through the air, to basically lock in that high floor. And again, with Dobbins, you're still not seeing a crazy amount of snaps, even with Mark Ingram inactive. All right, if you haven't liked the stream yet, we still got more than a half hour to go. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please give me a like, okay? If you haven't subscribed, just click the subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. We have done our best to put up a ton of videos, a ton of live streams for you guys. Clicking the subscribe button, a super easy way to show your support and help us out. And the likes, frankly, you saw my shirtless son, still no shirt right now, still in his Titans gear, still in his Patrick Mahomes wig. They get really excited when we get likes. Stuff like that. I'm not even joking. So if we get to 400, we're at 351, 400, 500, I don't know. Kid's probably never putting on a shirt again, which isn't, I don't know why I want that, but whatever. Okay, from, no, answer that one. From Kenneth something. Cooks, Beasley, or Bell, bench one. It's close. You're starting Cooks. I'm going to bench Beasley in this one. Beasley offers a pretty high floor. I think without knowing whether or not John Brown is going to play, which we're not going to know today, probably. We're not going to know probably until tomorrow. I just take the guaranteed volume that we're going to see from Le'Veon Bell. I'm not expecting a monstrous game at this point from Le'Veon Bell, but the volume is going to be enough, whether it's in the passing game or the running game, where he's going to be worth starting over somebody like Beasley. From Eddie Wolf, Claypool, Gage, or Mike Williams. All of those guys are right there. I'm going with Gage, slightly over Mike Williams. I've got no problem if you want to start Mike Williams. Claypool's a little further down. And I was watching Tag's live stream right before this. I know he said he would start Claypool over Gage. Okay, to be clear, Tags recommended to me. I asked Tags. Oh, my dog's in. Nice. I asked Tags what. Hold on one sec. Hold on, buddy. All right. Here we go. All right. Ready? Here we go. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Here's a dog. His name's Bentley. Comes in every time I'm doing a video. All right. Sorry. Sometimes I get extra when I get the dog or the kids onto live stream. Anyway, Tags would start Claypool. He actually recommended that I start Claypool over Gage last week. We were debating it. But I did it and I lost, and I blame Tags, and that's why I'm so mean to him. I'm starting Gage over Claypool, slightly ahead of Mike Williams. Claypool is the last of those three guys, so that's where I am. From Jacob Glazer, would you rather start Kiki, T. Higgins, or Tyron Johnson in half PPR? I'm going to go with Kiki QT in this matchup. Again, QT has kind of established himself as a pretty decent floor. No, wait. I'm sorry. I misread it. Kiki, T. Higgins, or Tyron Johnson. I apologize. Over Tyron Johnson, yes, but I actually have Higgins ahead of Kiki QT. My apologies. They're right next to each other, but I have T. Higgins slightly ahead. I think QT is a fine option. You can get away with him as a solid wide receiver 3. But I think with Brandon Allen and without Tyler Boyd, I think you're going to see enough volume here to make T. Higgins the guy that you want to go with. So that is what I would do there. From James Farrell, Tyron Johnson or Lazard, 0.75 PPR championship game. Way to make it to your championship game. I'm going with Tyron Johnson. I'm assuming Keenan Allen's out in this game, probably even if he's not, because there's just no way that Keenan Allen is going to be at 100%. I think Tyron Johnson's going to have enough. I'm not really trusting Allen Lazard at this point, so I would go with him there. From Jonathan Dirks. Ooh, no, I missed it. I'm sorry. It went through. My bad. From Darrell A, Hunt or Brandon Cooks in standard. In standard, I'll go with Hunt. Again, I think he's going to have enough volume here to make it worthwhile, given the fact that there are no wide receivers left. Cook's a great start, but I'm going to lean with a running back in standard. From Cali Music, need massive upside. Pick one, Kiki QT, Lazard, or Guyton Johnson, LAC wide receiver. Thank you for clarifying. Half PPR. Oh, man. So here's a little Harris secret. I don't love the upside plays. What's up? What's up, Derrick Henry? I don't love the, I need the absolute best upside that I can get. I think you play your best players and be what it meant. QT is ranked higher. If you need I need to hit the home run, I don't, the low floor, I probably will then just go with Tyron Johnson. Be a huge day for him. But I like to play my best players. That's what I do. And I take that my best players are going to score the best points. That's what happens when you do projections. I do the projections, and I kind of just rely on them. So if I were in your position, I would probably start QT. But if you really want to shoot the moon, I'd go for Johnson. From Chris, Happy BR, play 2. Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, or Le'Veon Bell. Played Kamara this week. How many of you guys played Kamara? Honestly, he is either a championship maker or championship taker or championship faker. I need another word that rhymes. So with that, I'm definitely starting Allen Robinson. No questions asked. He is in my locked in. After that, Bell or Kupp, it's really close. In half PPR, I'm going to go with Bell. It's close, but I'm going to go with Bell. We've seen Kupp already lay the egg. Now, you do have the giant game potential necessarily from Cooper Kupp, but I'm going to go with Le'Veon Bell there. From 0.25 PPR, need to gauge Watkins, Pollard, or Henderson. Hey, you like that? Okay, I'm going to go with Henderson, and I'm going to go with Gage, okay? It's close with Pollard, but in 0.25 PPR, it gives benefit for the receptions. Sorry if I've got a lag, by the way, with it. It's probably my internet. It's you?
Finally in it. Right there.
Yeah. All right. Got a little bit of lag. Sorry about that if you're getting that. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go with Gage, and I'm going to be slightly over Pollard. I think that, yeah, you're okay. All right. Sorry. All right. Bills defense. I'm still going with the Browns defense. I know. Can you believe it? It's crazy. Hold on. I'm just going to make sure because I'm seeing an amount of lag. So I'm just going to check in with my producer. And lag means that
Hold on.
I know. Can you believe it?
What is lag?
It's something where your internet isn't like working. See how I keep pausing right there and then talking? That's what it is. Okay, sorry. All right. Corey Davis or Brandon Cooks in non-PPR from Bruce S. You okay? I'm going to go with Corey. I think Corey Davis is in for a big game in this one. I probably have him ranked higher than the consensus is my guess, but I have him as a borderline wide receiver 1 in this one. I have him third. From Phil D. Hey, Dan, half PPR flex. Goddard or Hollywood Brown? Thank you. I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown in that one. It's for me to want to start a tight end. So it is something where even though Goddard got volume last week, he obviously didn't have huge production. I'm going to prefer to go with Hollywood Brown in that one. From Z, Curtis Samuel or Sammy Watkins. I am going to go with Curtis Samuel. Not all that close. I think that... You okay?
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins is a dart throw at this point. And Curtis Samuel, it's not the best matchup. I think that it's something where you're going to start Samuel by a good 30 spots in my rankings. Not something that's close. All right. From Hug Tredge, PPR, Dobbins or Jonathan Taylor? Super close right now. What?
That thing.
I'm going to go with Taylor. I know. I'm going to go with Taylor. Yeah, it's a little behind there. Okay. I'm going to go with Taylor. I'm going with Taylor in full PPR, slightly ahead of Dobbins. Again, Dobbins doesn't factor in that much. Let me finish up, okay? Yeah, I know. Jonathan Taylor from Big J, Jonathan Taylor or Melvin Gordon. This is one where I have moved Melvin Gordon ahead with no Phillip Lindsay. I think. All right, guys, I'm just double checking something here because I'm seeing whether or not I am lagging a ton, but I'm checking with my producer who is not responding because it looks a little rough. Anyway, Melvin Gordon is the play there over Jonathan Taylor. Sorry, guys. Pick 2 from Johnny. Pick 2 half PPR. Bell, David Johnson, or DK Metcalf. Thanks for a great season. Thank you. And for sure. And then I'll go with DK Metcalf. I understand that it's not perfect. Hold on, guys. I just need to check something. Sorry, guys. From Timothy D. Miller, pick 2. D. Johnson. I don't know if that's Deontay Johnson. I don't know if that's David Johnson. Hunt, Bell. I'm going to assume it's David Johnson since we're talking mostly about running backs. And I'm going to go with David Johnson. And I am going to go Kareem Hunt slightly over Bell. This is going to be weird, but give me a second, okay? Sorry about that, everybody. Woo, sorry. It's here in the Harris household on a nice Sunday morning. Okay. Defense, Seattle, Chargers, Houston. I have the Chargers slightly ahead of Houston, slightly ahead of Seattle. So that's where I am. Championship flex, PPR, Gibson, or I'm still going to go with Gibson. I'm still going to go with Gibson in that one. Sorry about that, guys. Still going to go with Gibson. Sorry. And sorry for the lag, guys. I guess it's my internet. My guess is my daughter is using a ton of internet or something at the moment. I don't really know what's happening. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let's go. Hollywood Brown or Austin Hooper? I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown. I know everybody wants to start Austin Hooper in that situation, but I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown. Look, Brown is not a guaranteed in this, but it is something where Hooper, again, at best, as bad as the Jets are against tight end, he's still a tight end. He's still very rarely the type of guy who sees more than 5 targets. Brown isn't somebody who sees all that many, more than, 6 or 7 anyway. But at this point, I'm going to go with the wide receiver, and I'm going to go with Brown. And I'm in trouble. LaMichael, Pirine, Connor, or Sony, half PPR, need upside. There I'll go with Connor. I do great about it in that scenario, but if those are your 2 options, I'm going to have to go with Connor in that scenario. Sorry. And sorry, guys, about if there is a lag. For me, things are very slow in this. So it's a little bit. From Brian Ficker, Gio Bernard or Tony Pollard. You're starting Gio Bernard. It's not all that close. I'm not all that worried about it. From Sean Khan, standard Metcalf or Gio Bernard in the flex. Thanks. I will go with Gio Bernard in that situation. Not a great matchup for Metcalf, as you know, with Jalen Ramsey. And again, he kind of came down a little awkwardly in the last game. He could still be battling a minor injury, but I'm going to go with Gio and take the guaranteed. From Eric Torres, thanks for everything, Dan. PPR, pick 1, Metcalf or Jonathan Taylor. I am going to go with Jonathan Taylor. Again, same. Not something where I'm really kind of, I'm not getting away from Metcalf necessarily if I can help it, but it is something where if I have a viable option, somebody who is a borderline RB1, something, I'm going to go with him certainly over somebody like Metcalf in this one. From Ol Blom, McKissick, Gibson, or even both in half. You can get away with starting both. I do have Gibson 1 spot ahead of McKissick. Gibson is playing. I'm going to assume that he is healthy enough to play. If McKissick is there, again, there's no Terry McLaurin. Very little. That's other options that are out there. Cam Sims, Logan Thomas. So I will go with McKissick in that one. Or Herbert. From Jonathan Fuentesilla, I'm going to go with Herbert. I think he and Tannehill are right there. They're basically, be in this scenario. But I have Herbert 9th, and I have Tannehill 10th. So just give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, from Cliff Bratton, Henderson, Gio, or Robbie Anderson. There, I will go with Gio. I think Gio, again, last time I recommended Gio as a strong, things didn't go so well. So I have a little bit of trepidation with it. But go with Gio in that scenario. All right. Thank you. Everyone's saying I'm lagging, but the audio is working. Sorry about it, guys. I will keep talking then. I won't worry about it. Thanks, Phil D. From Brad Greer, full PPR, David Johnson or Kareem Hunt. I'm going to go with David Johnson in this scenario. Again, basically a borderline RB1 at this point. Kareem Hunt has moved up with all of the injuries that are going on, or all of the COVID-19 replacements that are going on in Cleveland, but still not ahead of David Johnson. So I will go with him. From Chris Wolf, you help me get here. Help me win the championship. Have Hunt, Carson, Dobbins, and Gibson in full PPR. Need 2 5-point comeback with CMC still out. Thanks so much. Great job making your championship with CMC out. You are going to go with Dobbins, even in full PPR. I still have him highest. And I do have Carson slightly ahead of Hunt, even in full PPR. But Carson and Hunt next to each other in full PPR. You want to go with Hunt. That's fine. Gibson is a guy who, again, is a little further back just because I don't know what his workload is going to be. I would avoid the question marks. From Bruce Novak, hi Dan, Le'Veon Bell, J.D. McKissick, or Gio Bernard in full PPR. It's really close in full PPR because of, how heavily involved McKissick is going to be in the passing game. I'm going to go with Gio, though. Man, oh God, this is just the worst. This is reminding me of a couple of weeks ago when I recommended Gio to everyone, and Gio did nothing. But I haven't projected the highest. But, man, that is really close in full PPR. You can get away with any of them. I would start Gio personally. The weather in Green Bay for A.J. Brown, and with his ankle, A.J. Brown or Deontay Johnson full PPR. I get it. I'm not getting away from A.J. Brown. I don't really care about the weather's ankle. I'm starting A.J. Brown. So that's where I am. From Bucks Zone, FTC, full PPR, flex, Pollard, Gibson, or Pittman. I'm going to go with Gibson there. I think Gibson is somebody you can get away with starting. Somebody who, again, it's not perfect, but I would start Gibson. I'm sorry, I'm getting a ton of messages coming in right now. Over Pollard, who's got the mid-range, going to be splitting work. And again, with Pittman is not somebody who I'm looking to start. Full PPR, pick 1, Russell Gage, Juju, Mike Williams, or Robbie Anderson. It's close for the most part. I am going to go of those options with Robbie Anderson. I realize it's a tough matchup, but I'm going at that point. Again, I think that his volume is a little more locked in, his situations. Russell Gage is great, but I'm not starting him over an established option like that. Juju Smith-Schuster, we have seen disappoint for several weeks. And Mike Williams is still, as much as he's probably a number 1 option there, still a little bit more of a boomer bust. So I'm going to go, for me, with Robbie Anderson. From Charith Sai Sunku, half PPR, Robbie Anderson or J.D. McKissick in the flex. I'm going to go with Robbie there as well. Again, those guys, they're all the same range, but I am going to go with Robbie in that situation just because, again, Mike Davis hasn't, been quite as great other than he's basically got to find the end zone for there. From Do It 420, please, 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 full PPR, Marquise Brown or Jamison Crowder. Thank you, Dan. You're welcome. PPR, I'm going to go with Jamison Crowder. In half, I'd go with Marquise Brown narrowly, but in full, Jamison Crowder over Marquise Brown. From HOV, PPR, Darrell Henderson or Gio Bernard, and Gage or T. Higgins. I'm going to go with Gio Bernard, PPR in particular, and then I'm going to go with T. Higgins, who I have slightly over. Not sure if I'm back. I think I might be back. What's going on with the internet? I am hardwired. I apologize for everything. Not sure why. Okay. Sounds like I'm back. I apologize for it. I think my internet just really, I guess, I have no idea. Okay. I do podcasts. I do live streams all the time. I've never had it sort of go in and out like this. So got something going on. I'm really sorry that we are there. Okay. 1. PPR, Gage, Samuel, or... Oh, sorry. PPR, Gage, Samuel, or QT. Pick 1. I am going to go with QT. And I am going to go... I mean, it's close, but I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel and QT. From Mikey, Dan, please, Gibson or Bell? I'm going with Bell on that one. Sorry, guys. I'm just checking. Sorry, just checking. Deontay or Hunt in full PPR. In full PPR, I'll go with Deontay. Okay, Deontay Johnson is where I'm going. On that one, it's close there. Sorry, guys, trying to take care of everything. From Nick, Dads Unite. Thanks for all the help this year. Don't worry, Dad. In the flex, pick 2. Carson, Higgins, and Anderson. Pick 2 in full PPR. I'm going to go with Anderson and Carson. From BKAQ, Andrews or Hooper? Thanks, Dan. I'm going with Andrews in this one. Again, I moved Hooper up, but not quite that close. Hey, Dan, need your help from Andrew Forgy. Championship, PPR, pick 2 of 3. Hunt, Zeke, and Bell. Thanks. I'll go with Hunt and Zeke there. Not too worried about that one. From Patrick Stefanski, full PPR, pick 1. Gio, Higgins, Kiki QT, Pollard. Thank you. I'll go with Gio. I think he's going to get enough work in the passing game to make it viable in PPR. From Steven Spring, Hurts or Watson QB1. I have Watson ahead. It is basically the same projections, but I'm starting Watson. From Ricky Jackson, McKissick or Pollard in full PPR. I'm going to go with McKissick over Pollard in full PPR. From Samu Enrique, half PPR, Jonathan Taylor or Antonio Gibson, and tight end Komet or Jonnu Smith. I am freaking out. Don't freak out, Samu. We are all here. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor over Antonio Gibson. There are just too many question marks about his workload. And for tight end, I'm going to go with Komet over Jonnu Smith. I think Komet has given you usually a fair baseline of targets. I know last week wasn't that great, but I think for the most part, it's in good shape. Alex Rodriguez. I don't think it's the real Alex Rodriguez, but maybe it is. From Alex Rodriguez, would you rather start Carson or Gibson in PPR? I'm going to go with Carson there. Oh, sorry, you already asked. Thanks. From Rob Norias, pick 2, Baker, Locke, or Dalton. Yikes. I'm starting Dalton against the Eagles. Much more confident about that. And I'm going to start Drew Locke. I'm benching Baker. I get it. I don't feel excited about it, but I'm benching Baker, given all the wide receiver problems. From Waba, I missed it, sorry. From Keith Agnew, PPR, Gio or Deontay Johnson? I'm still going Gio. Angie Marie, T. Higgins or Gage, full PPR. I'm going to go with T. Higgins there, slightly over Gage. They're very close. From BK, might be another one. Hurts or Allen? Thanks, Dan. You're welcome. I'm going with Hurts over Allen. From Lord Batman, Jalen Reagor or Keenan Allen, no PPR. I am assuming Keenan Allen is out. Okay? Just go with Reagor. If he plays, if we knew he was playing, I guess Keenan Allen, but I wouldn't feel great about it. From Shannon Blackburn, PPR, Gage or Hilton, Washington, Colts, or Seahawks defense. I'm going with Gage over Hilton. And I'm going to go with the Washington defense as my top choice over the Colts and over the Seahawks. From Ken Verisco, half PPR, Kiki QT, Chad Hansen, or Marvin Hall to replace McLaurin. I'll go with QT there. Not all that close for me. CeeDee Lamb from Ole Boom. CeeDee Lamb or Hollywood Brown. I have CeeDee Lamb 28th. Excuse me. And I have Hollywood Brown 34th. So I've got CeeDee Lamb a few spots ahead. From Mobo Robo, full PPR, do I start Gibson, Bernard, or Henderson? I'm starting Gio Bernard in that situation. And if it doesn't work out again, but I'll go there. From East Coast Scripts, Gibson, Gio Bernard, or Logan Thomas? I'm going Gio Bernard. This is the worst. This is the worst. Gio Bernard season, week 16. I really hope it works out. I'm not going to read your name, but I will answer a question of Woods or Deontay. I have higher than Deontay Johnson. So Woods over Deontay Johnson is what I have. From Sonny D. Giacomo, is that right? Herbert or Tannehill if Keenan Allen is out. Doesn't matter if Keenan Allen is in or out. I'm going Herbert one spot ahead of Tannehill. That's just where I am. From the J. Mickelwain, Fant or Goddard, full PPR, I have Fant. Again, they're right in the same range. And I'm just answering the questions now because we don't have much time. I think that's what people want. From Ryan Kruger, Bell or Bernard, sorry, in standard. In standard, I have Bell one spot higher than Bernard. So close, but there's one where I can get you off Bernard. Yay! From Timothy, McKissick or Bell in PPR. I still have Bell slightly higher than McKissick in PPR, but that one is right there, very close. From D, Cole Beasley or Sammy Watkins standard, I'll go with Cole Beasley. From Super Doug Wilson, do I play McKissick at all? Yeah, I think McKissick is still a borderline RB2, given the fact that we are dealing basically left with Terry McLaurin out, with basically nothing there with Dwayne Haskins. I think there's going to be a lot of dump-offs to McKissick. So I think you're going to be fine there. Hooker Pollard, I'm going to go with Zeke slightly. That's from Garrett C. From Tara Himmel, DJ Moore or Le'Veon Bell in half PPR. I'll go with DJ Moore there. Again, I know, but I'm not entirely getting away from all these wide receivers. From MJ1331L, I got the name totally right. Mike Davis or Level in half PPR. I'm going to go with Bell, slightly over Mike Davis. For our Jason, for the championship, pick 2, Brandon Cooks versus Elliott versus PPR scoring the same, except plus 0.2 rushing yards and plus 1 reception and plus 1 receiving. Okay, if you're picking 2, I'm benching Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm going with Brandon Cooks and Corey. All that extra stuff is not going to change my feeling on that. So that's where I am with that. Davis or Bernard, I'm going with Gio Bernard. From Jacob, Bartholomew, Lockett, Dobbins, or Gibson, go with Dobbins there. Dobbins is the safer, and he still carries the high floor. One PPR flex, Amari or Henderson. I'll go with Amari Cooper there. I think this is going to be a bounce back game for Amari. So I'm willing to go with him slightly over Darrell Henderson, who again, I don't feel that confident about. I mean, he's a borderline RB2. In this day and age, that's not really saying much. From Neil Gupta, AJ Green or Tyron, I'm going with Tyron Johnson in this one. I'm assuming that Keenan Allen is going to be out. I like him better than AJ Green, even with Tyler Boyd out. So I'll go with there. From Julian Meyer, hi Dan, need your help for the W. Pick 1 for Bernard, Lockett, Higgins, or Elliott. I'm going to go with Bernard. Sorry for all the Gio Bernard recommendations, but that is where we are. Happy holiday. Should I start Tim Patrick, Robbie Anderson, or Gio in one flex spot? I don't know what your format is, but I will go with Gio. I'll go with Gio on that one. I'm so sorry to constantly recommend that. From EZC, would you rather start Jacoby Myers or Sammy Watkins? I have Myers one spot ahead of Sammy Watkins, so I will go there. From D. Hamilton, PPR, would you start Kupp, Corey Davis? I do have Corey Davis higher than Kupp. I'm very high on Corey Davis. Sorry about that. My bad on that. From Gio or Gibson, full PPR, they say a sizable workload for Gibson. I get it. I'm still going with Gio Bernard in this one. Dak 93, would you rather go with Knox or Akins? I lost Hunter Henry. I am going to go with Jordan Akins in that one. Not by a ton, but I will go with Jordan Akins. Gibson or Bernard in flex? Again, I'm going with Bernard. I really hope that works out for everybody. From Lockett, Rager, Claypool, or Ito Smith, pick 2 in half-point PPR. I will go with Lockett first, and then I will go with Claypool slightly over Ito Smith. Rager's farther down, but that's where I lean. It's very close with those 3 at least. Please, Dan, from David Sampson. Please, Dan, Komet, Goddard, or Hooper. I have Goddard slightly higher than Hooper, then Komet. From Nick, can't pronounce your last name. Dads Unite, full PPR, pick 2. Higgins, Carson, Anderson, Cleveland, or Washington football team defense. I have the Cleveland defense head, and if I'm picking 2 in full PPR, I'm benching Higgins there, and I'm starting Carson or Anderson or both. From 6-point passing TD from Josh Yake, please, Tannehill in the Blizzard or Mitch. I still have to Mitch. So you're good. From Old Boom. Oh, another question. There you go. McKissick, Gibson, and Zeke start 2 out of the 3 in half PPR. I am benching Zeke. I'm starting both Washington guys. I know. Crazy. Hurts or Lamar from Ryan Borges. I have Hurts one spot higher than Lamar, but again, they're right there. From Alexander Doan, sit 1 in full PPR. Dobbins, Gibson, or Jonathan Taylor. I am sitting From Blake Abshire, Corey Davis, McKissick, or Brandon Cooks for a flex play in a standard league. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm going with Corey Davis. I know. Crazy. Championship game from Green Rock Card. Full PPR, Mike Williams or T. Higgins. I will go with Higgins. From Kevin Nguyen, flex Gibson or Beasley or Kiki in full PPR. In full PPR, I'm going to go with Cole Beasley because he's a little safer. This is it. Gibson or Cooks in full PPR. I will go with Cooks there. You're welcome, guys. Half PPR, Dobbin, David Johnson, or Gibson. I'm going with David Johnson. Thanks for a great season, guys. I really appreciate it. Start Lazard or Robbie Anderson. I am starting Daniel A. I'm starting Robbie Anderson. Hunt or Deontay in half PPR. It's very close. Honestly, I would go with Hunt with the running back. Robert Capone, start 3. Cooper, Corey Davis, Moore, Woods, and Hunt. Yikes. Okay, I'm starting Woods, Hunt, and I will start Corey Davis over Moore. Crazy. All right, guys, that's going to do it today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe. Sorry for all the audio issues that we had, but I really appreciate you coming by. I hope you guys have had a great season. Subscribe if you haven't. Like if you haven't. We'll be doing more podcasts, and we'll still be here on youtube.com/fantasypros. And good luck in all your championships.